Hi everyone, this is DrBeauEllis, and I'm going to show you what I would do after a shoulder injury. It's been about 4 weeks since I injured my shoulder pretty significantly doing a BMX, trying to go over a jump. Anyway, brought the kids and the family to the BMX park, and I have a mountain bike which has shocks on it, so as you know, it's not very good for going over jumps. So I borrowed one of the kids' bikes, and I went around the track once just to get used to it because it's a smaller bike. And as you know, it's a dirt track except for the corners. The corners are pavement, and I just figured I would just go over the jump. I wanted to go over the front side of the jump and come down the back side of the jump, like some of the smaller kids were doing. Anyway, I went on the top of the embankment or the curve, and I was just going to go straight down it, and then over the jump, and then back down the back side of the second jump. Anyway, the smaller bike, the pedals are lower to the ground, and I was going to go as fast as I could, of course. And as soon as my right pedal hit the ground, as I pedaled down, it hit the ground, threw me off to the side, and I rolled twice. Fortunately, I just ended up with a sprain of my AC, or acromioclavicular joint, and some abrasions on my elbow and a little bit on my back as I rolled twice with the bicycle. Anyway, walked away from it pretty good. No strains of any of the muscles, but I did have, I smashed the bursa, so I had bursitis under the subacromial area, and I smashed the tendon of my supraspinatus muscle, or the tendon. So tendonitis, bursitis, and some sprain. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I would do to help rehab that, or to keep the joint healthy and strong so it heals good. It's been 4 weeks for me, so it's been a little while, but I've been doing some of these exercises since I was injured. The important thing to know is no pain for maximum gain. And I'm going to show you some exercises that I've been doing and are continuing to do. Here's a couple kettlebells. And one of the things that you can do, and like as I said, my muscles were not injured, but the joint, I'm going to be careful not to cause any pain in my AC joint, and that's my left shoulder mostly. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to do a fly. You want to start out really nice and slow. Start out with lighter weights. I've already done this before, so I know it's good for me. And all you want to do is nice and slow, no pain, and work the muscles. Remember to breathe. There you go. So there's some flies. Another thing you can do is overhead presses. Stretch up as far as you can go, no pain. If you do have pain, just do less of a range of motion. There are four phases to rehab. And the first 2 phases are slow movements. The second 2 phases are fast movements. The first phase is very small range of motion, and the second phase is full range of motion. All right, so I'm going to take a little break from that. Let my muscles recuperate a little bit. Not that that was super hard, but you're just trying to get some motion in there, and you're trying to keep the muscles from atrophying. Okay? You want to keep using them. We're going to work all the muscles: anterior deltoid, medial delt, posterior delt. For those of you who don't know, the acromioclavicular joint is right here. We're on the side of the edge of the shoulder, top part of the shoulder. Now I already did a few minutes of warm-up on a bicycle, moving my arms and stuff, like on an elliptical machine. I've got some really small weights here because my injury involves the supraspinatus tendon and the bursa, and this will stress that area the most. But you take your arm, you straighten it, you turn it in where your thumb is pointing towards yourself, and you just lift up like that. Okay? I'm doing my left sides first because that's the side that was injured. And you can do both sides at the same time. And really all you need to do is the first 15 degrees, which is probably about to here for the supraspinatus tendon, but I'm going a little bit farther up so I can work my deltoids a little bit more as well. All right, now I'm not counting these. I don't know how many I've done. I'm just doing them until I feel like the muscles are starting to fatigue a little bit. Now I'm going to do one-sided rows. Now I can do these a little bit easier. So I'm using more weight. Now it's good to stick with lower weights so that you can do it more specifically, more precisely, and do a better job at it and not hurt yourself, of course. I got to do the other side still. This exercise is for the posterior delt and the lat. I like to hold at the end just to get a little extra contraction in there. So there you go. We did a little bit of anterior delt, medial delt, very little bit, and the posterior delt. I'm going to do probably the least important exercise as it relates to the shoulder girdle, and that is a chest fly. Now I'm just going to use the 20-pound kettlebells since I have them here. One thing to note is if you have a hard time holding yourself up with your shoulder, you can do a modified pull-up. So you can do pull-ups, you can just hold and do an isometric exercise and pull down, and you can change the degree up here to down here. So the chest fly. Remember to do this slow so that you can feel if there's any pain in the joint or not. So I'm doing slow, full range of motion. Now, if I wasn't able to do any motion, I would start with isometric exercises and just hold a contraction. Now, as you can see, this isn't difficult. These are lighter weights. Just getting some range of motion and a little bit of exercise. Keep everything working good. There's another exercise that you can do, and that is over the head. You can either work your lats doing this, angle like that, or you could work your triceps and pull up, or do both at the same time. And this one's a little bit more difficult on the shoulder, so you have to be careful with it. And there we go. That's probably good for now. I'm going to give myself a short rest, and then we'll do some more. Okay, now I'm going to work on the most important muscles, the ones that usually get injured with any type of shoulder injury, and that is the infraspinatus and the teres minor muscle, which is on the very back of the scapula. So I'm going to work with the teres minor first, and that's external rotation. What I have here is a light rubber band. So I'm not sure what the poundage is of this one specifically, but it's probably around 10, maybe 10 pounds. And of course, that depends on how far you stretch it. It gets harder the more you stretch it. So anyway, I'm going to start with my left shoulder, and I'm just going to externally rotate. Now this band here, it gets tight really fast. So I'm just going to do a short range of motion in here. So I'll do this maybe 10, 15, 20 times. And you start out slow. Eventually, when you get shoulders doing pretty good, you can go fast. So I can do either one. It's been about 4 weeks for me. So this is not too bad. And now I can face this direction and then increase the range of motion of the external rotation of the shoulder. Whew. And it's already getting tired. Now I can turn my body this way to where I'm parallel with the rubber band, and I'll work a different part of the muscle by doing this range of motion. Okay, it's the same exercise, just a little bit different weight at a different angle. And it's already tired. Now you can work those muscles out to fatigue, and it's not a problem. Anyway, here, I don't want to put my back to you, so let me just do this real quick. So I'm going to do all the same stuff again. So now I'm about 45 degrees parallel to the rubber band. This will be the strongest part of the muscle as far as the range of motion goes. just because it's used the most. Do a few fast. All right, I'm getting tired. So now I can turn to where I'm perpendicular to the rubber band, and I'll work this range of motion to my shoulder. And again, I'm working the teres minor muscle. And until that gets tired. And it's getting tired. And now I'm going to put my body again this way, completely parallel to the rubber band. My arm is in line with it. And I'm going to do a few more. And that's about it for that one. The next one is the infraspinatus muscle. So you need to change the angle of the shoulder. So let me see if I can get the angle right here. So I'm going to bring the elbow up 90 degrees. If you can't get it to 90, then lower it down just a little bit, wherever it doesn't hurt. Mine doesn't hurt so much anymore. So I'm going to go as far as I can up here like this. And then I'm going to externally rotate my arm again like this. There you go. Hopefully you can see better. This isn't a real difficult exercise. It doesn't take much weight. The rubber band's about to break. There's a big cut in it, so I don't want it to come off. All right, just, because if these things break, they'll smack you in the face or hit you. All right, let's do a few fast. Good. Now you can change the angles on those two. You can lean backwards and do a few this way. And of course you could lean forwards too. But generally I find that just standing up normal is pretty good with these. Let's do the other side. Again, elbow up 90 degrees to the shoulder, elbows bent 90 degrees, and externally rotate. Again, if you need to increase the exercise to make it harder, pull on the band a little bit more. If you need to make it easier, step a little bit closer to the band. Just remember, no pain for maximum gain. All right, there you go. That's pretty good for that. Now you can run through all these exercises, 2, 3, 4, 5 times if you want to. But if you can do them at least once, then that'll be good. More is better. Just make sure that you're not in pain afterwards, because if you have pain, that means you probably injured yourself. Although you do produce waste product or acids when you do work out. So make sure you get a green drink or something to neutralize the acids after you're done. That'll make your recovery all that much quicker. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed something and learned something. Hopefully it's helpful to you. Again, disclaimer, this is what I would do for myself. I'm not telling you to do anything. This is not medical advice. It's just what I would do. So you can kind of see how to rehab, how I rehab. Thank you very much. You have a good day.